Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some of the books that I'm planning to read in February. So it's already February and I've been meaning to get back to YouTube for a while now. So I thought I would just start now, start fresh, and just see where this year takes me. I'm not gonna dwell on the fact that it's already like a month into the year. I had been hoping that I can just get started in January, but that didn't happen. But I'm not gonna dwell on it. It's okay, it's fine. Life happened and I'm here now, so I'm kind of stoked to just talk to you guys about some of the books that are on my TBR. It's not going to be all the books that I'm planning to read because there are just so many plans that I have because of work. I work in a bookstore and we have kind of like a young adult, new adult thing happening in the middle of the month, and for that I just want to read as much as I can just so that I can talk to our patrons about it. But I'm not going to mention any of those books here because that would just take too long. So I'm just going to talk about the priority TBR that I have. There are 3 readathons happening in the month that I'm kind of hoping to participate in. More low-key than just all in, but I kind of have my eye on them. So the first one is in the first full week of February, and that is Polarthon, hosted by Jade from JD Reads. I've been taking part in those for a couple of years now and I love it. It's just very low-key, very relaxed. This year we are grouped in teams. I'm still debating about the teams, but I think I'm gonna go for Team Reindeer because their prompt is to read books that have an S in the title. I was kind of debating between that and Team Arctic Fox because they have the prompt to read books that have blue on the cover, and I have lots of those as well on my TBR. But I looked at the books that I'm planning on reading in that week, or like books that I have out from the library for that week, and more of them have an S in the title than they are blue, so I think statistically speaking that's the way to go. Again, I'm not sure how many books I'm gonna read for that readathon. I'm just gonna go in and hoping for one so that I can just participate and have fun, and that's all these readathons are for anyways. And then 2 weeks later we have the literature readathon, a week of just reading romance, and again there is like a bingo board. There are sprints happening. Not sure if it's gonna be spicy romance that I'm gonna read, or fantasy romance, or just books with a bit of romance in it. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be my birthday week and I'm gonna have some fun with it. And then on the last 72 hours of that readathon there's also the 72 hours in the Reading Nook, I think is the title of this year's round of 72 hours. They decided to do it very vague this year just so that every genre that you read can fit into those categories, and with this readathon you have 2 wheels that you can choose from, and this time it's about staying in your comfort zone or just going outside of your comfort zone. Not sure how I'm gonna play it this time around. I might just stay in my comfort zone just because it's my birthday week. I'm gonna have family here. It's gonna be difficult to find time to read anyway, so I'll just go with my comfort zone. But I do want to participate and it's gonna be fun. There are gonna be lots of reading sprints with all of these readathons and it's gonna be a fun time. So if you want to check them out, I'm gonna link everything down below, all the announcement videos. A reading goal this year is something that I just decided on spur of the moment last week or so, and that is that I kind of want to get my physical TBR down. I'm not gonna say like a number or something because I have way too many books. I don't want to count them to know like how big it is. I don't want to go into the details of me having shelves in here that are my priority TBR and shelves in the other room that I'm kind of like, I still have the book, not sure if I'm ever gonna get to it. Also books that I'm kind of hoping to get rid of but not really having the opportunity to get rid of so many books at this point. So there are lots of books in my house. I kind of want to avoid having to go through all of them, but I just wanted to keep reminding myself to pick up the physical copies of books that I have, not just because there are so many of them, but I kind of keep forgetting to prioritize them because I have so many e-arcs for my work, and I also read a lot from my library since last year, and since there's kind of a time limit on those, it's kind of like, oh, I need to read that right now, even though there might be another book that I'm hoping to read but it's like physical. I'm like, I can read that later, and then I never get around to it. My reading goal is to read at least as many physical books from my TBR as I haul. This month, I'm not sure if I actually managed it. So I got 3 physical books, and I think I read 3 physical books as well, so it kind of balances out. But at the same time, the 3 books that I bought because I thought I would want to read them right away, I couldn't wait any longer, I didn't read them. So that's kind of like, why? So I'll show them to you. I'm gonna do a little haul, but I'm not gonna go into detail, but it's these 3. So right in the beginning of the month, I got Rebecca Ross's Ruthless Vows, which is the sequel to Divine Rivals. I just didn't pick it up. To be honest, I kind of forgot that I owned it, and I needed to read so many other things this month that I forgot about it. I'm sorry. The next one that I got was What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. Hope I pronounced that correctly. Heard great things about this. I didn't get around to reading it. And then just last week I got Voyage of the Damned by Frances White. Love the premise of this, of like a ship with a bunch of heirs on it, someone gets murdered, and the one that doesn't really have any magic has to kind of figure out like what's going on. It's one of those books where I'm like, I really need to get to this, but I only got it last week, so I'm not gonna hold it against me that I didn't get around to reading it because I only just got it. So I'm not just gonna try to read from my physical TBR this year. I'm also trying to read the ones that I get, that I haul right away. But I am gonna give me a little leeway with this. It doesn't have to be the month that I get them in, but I am gonna try quarterly to see like if I read the books that I hauled. So I have 3 months to read these. So February, March, these are gonna get read, hopefully. One of the books that I read physically is a reread for me, and that is The Lord of the Rings. This is the bind-up of all 3 books. I'm hoping to finish the 2 Towers still in January, and then I still have The Return of the King to reread, and I'm hoping to get this done in the beginning of February. I started my reread for this when Gavin from Gavin Reads It All went to a hobbit hole and was living there for a week, and he read all of this plus The Hobbit in this 1 week. Amazing. I mean, I have read this, but at the same time I forgot about a lot of it, and most of what I remember is from the movies. It's been 20 years, so it's been a while, but I do enjoy my reread of this. It's been going better than I expected. I thought I would be more bored about like the description of everything, but so far so good. And I love seeing the changes that were made for the movie, and it's interesting to just think about like why they changed some things and what it means for the story, that some of it is more explained or they went into depth. Also interesting to see some of the aspects that have been brought to life in the Hobbit movies that are mentioned in here. So that's one of my books that I really want to continue and finish in the next month. And then I have 2 books, 2 anticipated releases that I really want to get to. Both of them are companion novels to books that I loved last year. The year before. Yes, one of them is the year before. So one book that I loved last year was Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. This was such a surprise for me. I went into it being like, okay, it's gonna be like a fun thriller, crime, mystery thing. Amazing. I loved the writing style. I loved the way that the 4th wall was just broken down, and the narrator really tells us everything the moment that he learns it, and he is very open about everything, and I still got surprised by how it turned out in the end. So loved this. So I pre-ordered Everyone on This Train is a Suspect. It's coming out at the end of January, and I pre-ordered it, and I really hope that it's as amazing, like from the writing style and from the characters, as this first book. We follow the same protagonist, and this time he's like, I've had enough killing for like my lifetime, I want to just write fiction. He gets an invite to join a group of authors on this train. They have like a little get together and they want to talk about writing, but then someone gets killed, and all of them are like, we know how to solve a murder, let's do it together. So 5 mystery thriller crime novelists are trying to find out what happened, but all of them of course also know how to get away with murder, so one of them might be a killer. So love the premise and I can't wait to read that. So that's a definite read for February. And then Still can't believe that it happened. I got an email saying that I was approved for an ARC of one of my most anticipated reads of the year. It's coming out in July and I get to read it now, and I was kind of like, I might have been tempted to just read it right away, but then I thought, February, my birthday, I don't have to work on my birthday. I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna have brunch, and I'm gonna get a massage and everything like last year. It was a perfect day last year, and part of why it was perfect was because I had a great read, and I thought, what better time to read one of my most anticipated releases. So I hope I can wait 3 more weeks to read this. But let me tell you what book it is. It is the companion novel to The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, and it's called The Undermining of Twyla and Frank. I don't know much about it. I just want the cozy fantasy feeling that I got from this first book, and I think I'm gonna get them, so can't wait to read that one. Like I said, I have lots of books that I'm kind of hoping to read. Should I talk about my arcs that I still have? No. So like I said, I have lots of books that I'm kind of hoping to get to this month, but I'm not going to talk about them because it's going to be a disappointment when I don't get to all of them. So one more thing that I want to do is I want to read favorites of other booktubers. I made a list. I made a wheel for it, and I kind of have the idea of making like a series of it because I've done this the last couple of years where I put all the books that I want to read, and I want to make like big videos right at the beginning of the year, and I never get around to it because it's just so daunting. So I thought I would just see where this wheel takes me and read 1 per month. I might have time and leisure to read another, or maybe 2 even, but I don't want to put that pressure on me. I just want to read that one book that everybody loved last year. And the way that I compiled this list is that I only picked those books on their favorites lists that I have a physical copy that I've been meaning to get to, that are TBR vets for me. Not all the ones that I hope to read at some point, like all the books out there that I might get from my library or that I've had my eye on to buy. No, none of those. Those are different TBR lists. This list only has those books that I actually own, that I have with me here in my apartment, and that I still want to read. So let me just screen record this and let's see what we get. Okay, let's start this. There are lots on them, and I keep updating them whenever someone uploads the video. So let's see. Yay! It's Immortal Longings, and I saw it on Kayla's channel. And let me just grab that. That's a great way to start this reading experience, actually, because I have started it. I'm 134 pages into this book. Really enjoyed it. Had to put it down for some reason or other, and I didn't really pick it back up, but I am enjoying it. I read other books by Chloe Gong since then. Really enjoyed those, so I'm glad to get back into this sooner than later before I forget everything that happened. So yay to that. So this is going on my TBR as well. So that was my February TBR. If you read some of the books that I mentioned, please let me know down below and let me know what you're planning on reading. If you like this video, I would love it if you gave it a thumbs up, and subscribe if you want to see more of me, hopefully in the future. And I hope you have a great start into February, and I'll see you then. Bye!